I was out there Friday.
Yep.
You were out there Saturday.
Yep.
What's your first impression of Jayden Daniels?
I like it. You know, I for what I went out there looking for, he has a quick release. He can throw the football. He's kind of a perfectionist. You know, I was watching. I know you were talking about the accuracy, and I was watching him go through a drill where they're trying to throw it into that little net, and he missed one time, and you could see where it was eating him alive. And when he went to his left, he didn't miss any of them. He was on point, and I like that. I like a person that's not going to just be happy with making mistakes.
Yeah, and that's kind of. Sorry, I'm taking notes on what you're saying. That, I think, is kind of what Dan Quinn was trying to convey when he talked about how competitive he is and, all the stuff that, how he takes everything really seriously kind of throughout the process. And I saw the same stuff you saw, honestly. What did you think of his frame in person?
I had already seen him at the draft. And
Right.
I told you, I said he's not as small as people try to say. And so I saw a picture with him in shorts, and you can see the muscular, like around with the nibialis, around the knee area and all that.
The what?
He's the nibialis, that little muscle right there. But he is a muscular dude. He's not just a skinny dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and still.
He doesn't have big, broad. The only thing I've noticed is like a lot of football players, most football players and quarterbacks have like broad shoulders. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have that. His shoulders just kind of slope down, but like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So and then like the whole thing is he's still 3? He still has to mature. He's not done. He'll get the extra 5 pounds that people feel he has to have.
I think for me with Jayden, there was just like an immediate electricity. There was something there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that has been lacking. Like that charisma, gravitas, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I think for everybody that was, God, we get caught up in the dumbest stuff. Between a T-shirt and Tress giving him his number. Some stuff you just don't have to comment on.
Uh-huh.
Like not every, like Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Like I don't need everyone in the world to give me their opinion on who's winning that, right? People got so riled up that Jayden got Tress's number. The two adult men entered a negotiation and came to a settlement.
When I listen to Tress talk, Tress talks about talking to his wife and how they came to a decision. And that's the only person I care to hear from. I don't care about all these other people's opinion. If Tress and his wife sat there and felt like, okay, this is what I want to do. Cool. Who am I to sit up here and worry about that? You move on and you just follow. But I've been listening to the other rookies talk about Jayden. When they are hyping him and praising him like that, that means that, you know what, he's not a guy who goes like, I'm standoffish. I don't want to be bothered. His fellow rookies are loving him. You know what I'm saying? They love his energy. They love the way the dude is. That's what you want to see. If they were all saying, man, he don't talk to us, then you have something to worry about. But there are people who they don't care about the good stuff. They're just waiting for something bad to happen.
Well, for the people that were mad about Daniels, that he hadn't publicly supported Tress or whatever, whether it was good PR by a smart PR staff or it was just Jayden being Jayden, the first thing he did when he spoke to the media after his first ever practice was thank Tress and call him a legend.
What was he supposed to support him publicly to please who?
Right.
See, that's the problem is people think that they are supposed to be pleased. if he and Tress talked privately and they came up with something, that's all he needs to worry about. Not to appease everybody else.
Right. I'm not saying he did, but the first thing he did was say thank you to Tress and say he's a legend and it really means a lot, which is the right way to do things.
Yeah.
And it's just now that's done. It's one more bucket that is on the boat that you can throw in the water. Like we're done with that, right?
People, boy.
What?
People.
Emojis, jerseys, feathers. And now it's just about football with Jayden. And I thought I had a video Saturday after the T-shirt nonsense where shout out to my guy Jake who put this video together of it's like 45 seconds of all he was my photographer for NBC4 on Saturday at the facility.
Donnie's son.
He could use a little sun.
No, I say Donnie's son.
Yes.
Donnie Shaman.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying he needs sun, like like
No.
like Mason Brooks needs some sun.
You're damn
Jake just caught shrapnel for no reason. But he sent me this video of like all of Jayden's throws that he filmed. And dude, it is hard not to get excited. And it's practice. We're talking about practice. And it's not even practice. It's rookie minicamp. Like tomorrow will be a lot different with actual veterans out there.
Uh-huh.
Remember the he can't throw over the middle? Have we already disproved that? Plenty of this stuff's going over the middle.
Man, listen. When people started going there, I'm like, do you know what the coaching staff at LSU expected and wanted? Because, I hear he don't throw over the middle, and I'm seeing passes being caught inside the damn hash mark. So, this is from LSU last year. Their Neighbors is catching the ball right there on the hash. That's over the middle?
Well, and I think we got to be real clear that, there's a difference between analytics and, Pro Football Focus. Everybody's just convinced that PFF is gospel for the analytic community. And that's not true. When you talk to people in the league, and there's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good data. But the data that they're really good at is snap counts and formations. You know what I mean? Because that is data. You can take that data and then understand through math, which isn't my strong suit, but you could do this. All right. When the Eagles line up with 3 safeties on the field in 3rd and 7 or longer, 85% of the time they're going to run cover 3. And therefore, when we see that look, we know we can go to our tight end. That is data. That is scientific fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just numbers. When they get into their grades and all that is no longer data. That is subjective grading.
Totally.
And you've got to subtract thinking the grades are analytics. That is not analytics. Analytics is the data surrounding. Now, how they come up with their grades, sure, it's formulaic, but it's subjective, dude. So I think when we get these conversations going before the draft, people are like, oh, the analytics. No, man.
Well, when I was hearing people saying he doesn't throw over the middle, I didn't go looking for plays. I just looked at the highlights that kept popping up. And I'm like, that ball was caught inside the hash mark. That ball was caught on the hash mark. That ball was right down the middle of the football field in the end zone at LSU, right down the middle. So when he's throwing it over the middle, what does it mean? You trying to tell me he didn't throw dump offs? Because I really want to know from the people that were amening and echoing that sentiment, please tell me, if throwing the ball 30 yards down the field in the middle of the field, is that over the middle? Or you only looking for somebody to throw it from the line of scrimmage to 10 yards deep? If that's considered over the middle, then, I might say, okay, you had a point. But is inside the hash mark the middle of the football field? I just need to know that.
Right. I also liked Daniel's kind of vibe with he's enjoying himself. He's having fun. And I think if you're going to thrive when you are the level of football nerd that he is, wanting to ask LSU to open the facility earlier so we can get there earlier, the virtual reality stuff we've heard about that I assume Washington will implement as well. Like, if you're going to be that level of football nerd, you need to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think you see that.
And listen, man, people that work as hard as he does, you are allowed to enjoy yourself. I used to always my little analogy, I say I tortured myself in the off season so I could have fun during the season. When you put the work in, that's when you can smile and relax.
Right.
The people that don't put the work in, they have to be serious all the damn time. You know why? Because they don't know what they're supposed to be doing, and they get a little stiff. Don't hate him because he put the work in.
Well, it's funny. A lot of guys that have been through here put the work in.
Mhm.
Alex definitely did. I mean, Heineke was a grinder.
He had fun too.
Yeah. Kirk really put the work in, but wasn't like a fun locker room vibes
Yeah.
guy. You know what I mean? Ideally, you have both. And then, like, people are, I see in the chat, people are like, oh, you got to make Jayden the captain. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
I would love if they actually just let the players vote and it's not a marketing decision. That's what San Fran did.
Hey, man, every quarterback is not the captain on every team.
Right.
Now, you run your offense, and if you run your offense properly and you do a good enough job, they will vote you in.
Sure.
But if you are just showing up, they don't have to do that.
Also, who cares? Like, it's not till September.
I said to people, Mark Rippon was a damn good quarterback. He had leadership qualities. He wasn't a captain. The captains were guys that people they knew was, you know, Monty Coleman. And when Monty talked, offense, defense, and special teams listen. And that's the guy you want. But for fans to automatically assume that, oh, the quarterback has no, that's not true. And some of them are captains, but they never speak because they're always taking care of their business. You know what I mean? They have to be in meetings and away from everything so often to where I think that it's not necessary to make them a captain.